Hello students, in financial market series, this is my 9th video. First 8 videos links are available in the description box. In present video, I am going to explain about pricing in public issue. Company can raise the capital through different methods. Public issue method, offer for sale, bonus issue, right issue. In public issue method, company collects capital from the public. A new company collects the capital from the public through IPO, initial public offer. An existing company, for its additional capital, it collects the money from the public through FPO, follow-on public offer. So in these two cases, company appoints book runner, means the investment bank which is going to lead the public issue. So that investment bank assists the company while fixing the issue price of securities, while issuing the securities to public, while collecting application forms from public at the time of allotment, and even these investments bank acts as underwriters also. These investment banks, nothing but lead merchant banks, are known as book runners. Book runners alone cannot handle whole issue. So for their assistance, they appoint some syndicate members, nothing but financial institutions and brokers. Financial institutions are registered with SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India, and brokers are registered with Stock Exchange. These book runners and syndicate members act as intermediaries between company and investors in public issue. Now the question is, at what price company has to issue these securities to public? In other words, how to decide the issue price of securities in public issue? SEBI is not going to interfere in this matter. SEBI doesn't play any role in deciding the issue price. So companies only decide the issue price in case of primary market. So there are two methods to decide the issue price. Fixed price method, book building method. So let us see the first one. Fixed price method. This is traditional method. Here company fixes the issue price and investor has to apply for securities at that price. So investor cannot fix the issue price in this method. Company considers so many factors while fixing this issue price, such as financial and administrative strength of the company, comparable company's issue price, public trends, public confidence about the company, etc. For example, there is one company known as XYZ Limited. So they want to issue 1 crore equity shares at the rate of 100 rupees each. So here there is 100 rupees known as issue price, and this price will be decided by the company. Issue size is 100 crore. How it comes? Company wants to sell 1 crore shares at the rate of 100 rupees each. So 1 crore shares into 100 rupees each is equal 100 crore. And lot size is 50 and multiples of 50. What is the meaning of that? Minimum one investor has to apply for one lot, and one lot contains 50 shares, means minimum 50 shares investor has to purchase. So investor cannot purchase 20 shares, 30 shares, etc. So remember, in primary market, securities are sold in lots. So one lot size is 50, means what? Investor can purchase 50 shares. Otherwise, multiples of 50 means 50 shares into 2, 100 shares, no? So investor can apply for 100 shares, means investor is applying for 2 lots. Suppose investor is applying for 3 lots, means 3 into 50, 150. So investor is applying for 150 shares. Then minimum investment is 100 rupees into 50 shares is equal 5,000. Because minimum 50 shares investor has to buy, and one share issue price is 100 rupees. So 50 shares into 100, minimum 5,000 rupees investor has to spend if he wants to invest in XYZ Limited shares. How company collects this money? In two ways. As a lump sum company can collect, or on installment basis company may collect this amount. For example, there is one applicant known as Ravi. He wants to purchase 10,000 shares. So how much he is supposed to pay? 10,000 shares into one share issue price 100 rupees. So Ravi has to pay 10 lakh rupees to company. If company wants to collect total 100% amount at the time of application, then how much money Ravi is supposed to pay? 10,000 shares into 100 rupees is equal 10 lakh rupees. This is called lump sum method. Or company may collect this money in installment basis also. For example, application amount is 30 rupees. Means while applying for this 10,000 shares, Ravi has to pay 10,000 shares into 30 rupees each, 3 lakh rupees to the company. Suppose company allotted all these 10,000 shares to Ravi. Then he has to pay second installment amount known as allotment money. Say allotment money per share is 20 rupees. Then 20 rupees into 10,000 shares, 2 lakh rupees he has to pay to company. So out of this 10 lakh, 5 lakh he paid. Remaining 5 lakh he has to pay when company calls for that amount. So first call, second call, third call, and last call is known as final call. Assume first call amount is 10 rupees per share. Then Ravi has to pay 10 rupees into 10,000 shares, 1 lakh rupees to the company. Similarly, second call amount is 30 rupees. And the last call, final call amount is say 10 rupees. So if you add all these amounts, 100 rupees coming. So on installment basis, company is going to collect the amount here. Fixed price method can be used for any type of issue. Public issue, right issue, bonus issue, etc. This method suffers with one drawback. That is, no company or no investment bank can fix true issue price. So there is a chance of underpricing or overpricing. Underpricing means what? For example, according to the financial strength of the company, one share issue price should be 130 rupees. But company fixed 100 rupees as issue price. This is known as underpricing. So company is losing possible capital here. Overpricing means what? Say company fixed 100 rupees as issue price, but according to the financial strength and reputation of the company, issue price should be 80 rupees. Company fixed 100 rupees. This is known as overpricing. In this case, company may not get proper demand for its issue. So public may not show interest to subscribe for company securities. So when company's management is confident about the issue price, when they believe that they can fix the true issue price, then only they will go for fixed price method. Otherwise, they have to follow second method of deciding issue price. That is book building method. Let us see about this method. Book building method is introduced by SEBI in 1995 year. Under fixed price method, company fixes the issue price. But under book building method, company invites bids from the investors. Thus, investors are going to fix the issue price. The objective of this method is to discover the price at which a market is willing to subscribe company securities. That is why this method is also known as price discovery method. Thus, qualitative aspects, that is market demand, is also considered while fixing the issue price. To overcome the drawbacks of fixed price method, company follows this method. So the events of underpricing or overpricing no longer can happen in this method. This method is recommended by all major stock exchanges of the world. So all major developed countries are following this method. So today fixed price method has become obsolete and this method is becoming more popular. Most of the companies nowadays are preferring book building method to decide the issue price of their securities. Let us see the procedure of deciding issue price under book building method. First step is appointment of intermediaries. Company appoints lead managers, nothing but investment bankers, book builders, and syndicate members to assist the company in whole issue. Second one, fixing price band. Company invites bids from public, no? So at what price public has to bid? For that, company decides a price band. In our previous example, XYZ company wants to issue 1 crore shares, no? Suppose company fixed price band as 100 to 120 rupees. What is the meaning of this? if public want to bid for securities, they have to quote a minimum 100 rupees per one share and they have to quote a maximum 120 for one share. Here 100 rupees known as a floor price and the 120 rupees known as cap price. So floor price means what? The lowest price in price band is known as floor price. Cap price is the highest price in the price band. Investor can quote at a floor price or above floor price. Similarly, at a cap price or below cap price. And remember, the difference between floor price and cap price should not exceed 20%. Suppose floor price is 100 rupee. Then cap price can be 100 rupee plus 20% of 100 rupee. That is 20 rupees is equal to 120. It doesn't mean that cap price should be 120. So cap price can be 120 or below 120. It cannot be above 120. If floor price is 200 rupees, then cap price can be 200 rupees plus 20% of 200. That is 40 rupee, 240 rupees. If floor price is 300 rupee, then cap price can be 300 plus 20% of 300. That is 60 rupee. So cap price can be 360 or below 360. Minimum issue size is 1 crore shares into 100 rupees each is equal to 100 crore rupees. And maximum issue size is 1 crore shares into 120 rupees the cap price now. So multiply with 120 rupees, 120 crore. Then suppose investor wants to purchase one lot. One lot contains say 50 shares. Then minimum investment of one lot is 100 rupee, that is floor price, into one lot contains 50 shares now. Then 5000 rupees is minimum bid price of one lot. Similarly, maximum bid price of one lot is 120 rupee, that is cap price, into 50 shares is equal to 6000 rupees. Next, tick size. Sometimes company may insert tick size clause in this issue. What is tick size? Observe the price band 100 rupees to 120 rupees. So some investors can quote for 101 rupees. Some investors may quote for 102 rupees, 103, 104 and so on. In this case, company receives so many bids and the company's burden also increases. So to reduce the burden, company may insert tick size clause. For example, tick size is 5 rupees. Then what is the meaning of that? Investor can quote for 100 rupees, next 105 rupees, then 110 rupees, 115 rupees, and the cap price is 120 now, finally 120 rupees. So investor cannot quote for 101 rupees, 102, 103, 104. Similarly, investor cannot quote for 106, 107, 108, 109. So in this manner, company can reduce the number of bids. And don't think that inserting tick size clause is compulsory. For example, price band is 100 to 104. Cap price is 104 and the floor price is 100 rupees. As the difference between these two prices is minimum, company need not to insert tick size clause here. If investor wants to purchase one lot, then he can bid for 100 rupees into one lot contains 50 shares now, 50 shares. Otherwise, he can quote for 105 rupees into 50 shares or 110 rupees into 50 shares or 115 rupees into 50 shares or 120 rupees into 50 shares. Suppose investor wants to purchase two lots. One lot contains 50 shares. Two lots means 100 shares now. In that case, he can bid for 100 rupees into 100 shares or 105 rupees into 100 shares, 110 rupees into 100 shares and so on. Suppose investor wants to purchase 3 lots, means 150 shares. In that case, he can quote for 100 rupees into 150 shares or 105 rupees into 150 shares or 110 rupees into 150 shares and so on. In this manner, company fixes the price band. Then next step, third step is collecting bids. Third step, collecting bids. When issue is opened, investor sends their bids to syndicate members. Syndicate members record this information in digital book and upload in stock exchange websites. So if you want to refer bids of any company issue, then you have to refer stock exchange website. In movies we see no properties are sold on auction basis. Similarly, in case of book building method, securities are sold at auction basis. That is why the application form which is used for bidding purpose is known as bid form. At the time of applying for securities, investors don't know the issue price. Therefore, instead of issuing prospectus, company issues a red herring prospectus. This prospectus contains only cap price and the floor price of securities. Within these two prices, investor has to send their bids. In our example, XYZ Limited received bids like this. At 120 rupees, investors are ready to purchase 30 lakh shares. At 115 rupees, investors are ready to purchase 40 lakh shares and so on. So the list of bids at different prices is known as book. And uploading this information in digital book is known as book building. Here, retail investor has the option of revising his bid. Suppose one retail investor quoted 100 rupees. Later, he has one doubt. At 100 rupees, company may not allot shares to him. So he wants to revise his bid from 100 to 110 rupees. When issue is open, he can revise his bid. But qualified institutional buyers and non-institutional investors, they do not have bid revision option. When issue is closed, syndicate members submit the information of bids along with the application money to investment bank. Then investment bank and company both go for price discovery. Based on the bids received, they decide the issue price of securities. This issue price is known as cut-off price or discovered price. Let us see how company decides cut-off price in this example. Suppose company decided 120 rupees as cut-off price. It is not correct because at 120 investors are ready to purchase only 30 lakh shares. But company has to sell 1 crore shares now. If company fixes 115 rupees as cut-off price, then company can sell 30 lakh shares and 40 lakh shares. But total becomes 70 lakh only. So 115 is also not the correct price. If company fixes 110 rupees as cut-off price, then company can sell 30 lakh shares easily because these shareholders are ready to pay 120 rupees per share. But company is offering shares to them at 110 rupees only. Similarly, the investors who applied for 40 lakh shares also buy because they are ready to pay 115 rupees per share. But company is offering shares to them at 110 rupees only. And company can sell even this 45 lakh shares also. So total becomes 1 crore 15 lakh shares. So if cut-off price is 110 rupees, company can sell its entire shares. So supply is for 1 crore shares, but demand is for 1 crore 15 lakh shares. So this 1 crore shares will be allotted by the company on pro rata basis. Don't think that company issues 30 lakh shares to them at 120 rupees. Issue price is 110 rupees only. So company issues 30 lakh shares, 40 lakh shares and 45 lakh shares at 110 rupees only. Then they paid 10 rupees extra, no? That 10 rupees will be refunded to them. Similarly, these shareholders paid 5 rupees extra, that will be refunded to them. And what about these two groups? Investors who quoted 105 and 100, they don't get any allotment. Company has to refund their money. Within 15 days after the final allotment, company has to return the amount to them. If not, they can demand 15% interest per annum. Company has to decide this cut-off price before filing prospectus to company's register. Here, retail investors have an option. That is, they can bid for cut-off price. Instead of mentioning the exact amount in bid form, They can simply write cut-off price. Suppose company fixed 110 rupees as cut-off price. Then it is assumed that their bid price is 110 rupees. If company fixes 115 rupees as cut-off price, then it is assumed that their bid price is 115 rupees. But QIBs and NIIs, they don't have this option. Why this extra privilege is given to retail investors? Because they cannot guess the exact price of security. They are common people, they don't have much knowledge about financial market, therefore they can bid for cut-off price. The next step is allotment. So at cut-off price, company allots securities to applicants. The process of issuing securities under book building method, this topic is completed. Next topic is revision of price band. Assume that XYZ Limited received bids in this manner. At 120 rupees, investors are ready to purchase 8 lakh shares. At 115 rupees, investors are ready to buy 10 lakh shares and so on. So demand is only for 85 lakh shares, but company wants to issue 1 crore shares. There is no enough demand at a price band of 100 to 120. In this case, company can revise its price band. Assume that the new price band is 100 to 110. Here also, the difference between these two prices is below 20%. When company revises its price band, company should inform that fact to investors through newspaper advertisements. Next topic is issue timeline. Let us see the first method, fixed price method. Issue will be opened after 5 days from the issue of prospectus to public. Then issue will be opened for 3 to 10 days. Nothing but bid period is 3 to 10 days. Minimum 3 days and maximum 10 days. In other words, the gap between issue open date and issue close date should be minimum 3 days to maximum 10 days. When issue gets closed, then company has to list these securities in stock exchange, in NSE or BSE. Within 3 days, company has to list in stock exchange. If securities are listed in stock exchange, then public can trade them through stock exchange. Previously, it used to be 6 days, but today everything is online. Payments became easy. So SEBI revised these days from 6 to 3 days. Next one, book building method. Here, company issues red herring prospectus instead of prospectus. No? So after 5 days, issue will be opened. The gap between issue open date and close date is 3 to 7 days. Suppose this bid price is revised by the company. In that case, company extends this bid period for more 3 days. Means in this case also, maximum bid period is 7 plus 3, 10 days. When issue is closed, within 3 days, company has to list its securities in stock exchange. So, in fixed price method and in book building method, the gap between issue opening date and closing date should be 3 to 10 days. Here also, if there is no revision of bid price, then the gap between these two dates will be 3 to 7 days. In case of revision, the gap will be 3 to 10 days. Come to the last topic of this video, partial book building. In this method, company doesn't collect bids from general public. Company collects bids from legal institutions. So based on the bids received from them, company decides the issue price. At that price, company issues the securities to general public. The cost and complications involved in this method are substantially low. So this is all about pricing in public issue. Hope this video is helpful to you. Thank you.